Welcome, fellow brothers of the Leaf. It's been a long day for me here, so bear with me.
How's that bourbon, Paul?
I need more of it. Welcome, everyone, to the Stogie Geeks Show. This is, of course, episode 20, being recorded on May 24th, 2012. Very excited, as always, about this show. I've got the illustrious Stogie Geeks crew in the house. Sitting right across from me, of course, is Mr. Tim Muggerini. Welcome, Tim.
Hey, thanks, man. Hello, everybody.
Yes, and Mark Jr. is here in the house. Haven't seen Mark Jr. in a while. We're very happy to have him here.
Thanks for having me.
Yes. Stogie Santa could not make it and join us tonight.
We won't go into the gruesome details, but he's fine.
The infamous Ben is going to be here as well.
With guest, I believe.
They all have their own stories to tell about the Stogie Geeks, and I was joking with Ben the other day. I said, for Mark, for Stogie Santa, rather, I was going to give him a wheelchair because he tends to consume a lot of bourbon when he's here, and he has a tendency to trip over things on the way out. So
I'm still going to set him loose on your neighborhood, man. I'm telling you.
Yeah. And for Ben, being the only member that has actually vomited after a show, we're going to give him a bucket with a string for around his neck in case he does need to vomit. He's got the bucket right there.
I'm so glad that wasn't me.
Yes. So we've got stogies that we're smoking here tonight. Smoking this on this fabulous show. Tim, I want you to tell us about the cigars that we're smoking tonight. We're actually going to do a reveal on one of the others. So we have two unbandeds, right?
Yeah, so Tim, a.k.a. Gravity, on the BOTL.org forum, sent us two unbandeds. Thank you, Tim. The first one, we're doing the Corona. By my measurements, it's a 5x42. We lit up right before the show. Smoking great.
I do have to say I'm very saddened by the fact that a couple of them are plugged.
Yeah, so Paul ran into I lit up the first one. It lit right up, no problem. First two you lit up, it was plugged. Fortunately for us, he sent us 5, so we have enough for the show.
And a huge thanks to Gravity on BOTL. Thank you very much for sending us unbanded smokes. You don't have to do that, but if you do, and especially the way that he packaged them is just so awesome. We're in the bags of 5. Oh, you can see a picture in the show notes.
Yep, absolutely.
We're going to smoke number 2 just coming up here. Oh, no, this is number 2 we're smoking now. Number 1 is still in the bag, but there's these bags that hold 5 cigars, and they've got the individual kind of pockets for them. There was a small Bavita pack in each one, and taped to the bag was an envelope with the reveal.
Yes.
So we're smoking number 2 right now. I was impressed.
And you can buy those bags online. Anybody who's interested, drop us an email at stogiegeeks@gmail, and I'll point you in the right direction. But anybody who does any trading on the forums will find those bags useful.
So our assessment is that this is Cuban.
Yes, absolutely.
Cuban Puro. That'd be my assessment. I mean, look, feel, smell, taste, smoking characteristics being plugged,
Yep.
a little tight draw.
The ashes got that look to it too.
Yep, as does the burn line.
Yeah.
The burn line's, a jet
I'd be
black.
very surprised if this was not a Cuban.
Absolutely.
Very surprised. The flavors are good. Lots of spice.
Yep.
I get lots of spice. I mean, it's more spice than I typically get from a Cuban Puro.
Yeah, I think it started off with a lot of cedar and spice. Personally, I got some of that Cuban twang coming and going, though. It doesn't stay. It comes and goes. I'm enjoying the second half. I just started the second half more than I did the first half. I think it opened up on the second half, too. So
I'm on the second half now. It's got a lot more of that woodsy, cedary flavor.
Oh, yeah. Well,
yeah. And
I
Mark
just
Jr.,
started mine, but,
it's got that Cuban wood.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt.
Yeah.
I think, Mark Jr., you had some thoughts on what it was, and I think you're probably dead on, but let's not go there just yet. We'll keep everybody in suspense.
Last time we did have a unbanded, I did guess.
You did guess
early on.
By looking at it.
Yeah.
Mark Jr., I tell you what, if you get
You
this
were
one
way
right,
off.
if you get this one right, man, I'm going to be really impressed. Because, I mean, 1, that could be luck, right? But, like, 2 in a row,
But
you're starting to set yourself up
I'm
for, like,
halfway through, and the flavor profile would fit. So
I agree with Mark Jr.'s assessment, man.
would
I
fit.
wish I had said that first, actually. That's because
I've never smoked this particular cigar, but I have smoked other Vitolas
From
in
that
that brand,
brand,
and it would fit. So
Yeah.
We'll see.
But
All right, what are we drinking tonight? Is everyone drinking the same thing?
Yes,
I think
we
so.
are.
We got the Old Weller Antique 107 bourbon. It's $20 a bottle.
Same as last week.
If you can't find it, look up Joyle's Liquor.
Want me to grab it for the camera?
Yeah, grab it for the camera. I'm telling you, Dennis Joyle, we had Paul Joyle on here last show, and Paul's brother Dennis runs the liquor store operation and got this stuff. He can't keep it on the shelf.
It's fantastic.
I mean, there was only 2 bottles on the shelf. He brought out his last case, so I bought 3 bottles to keep here in the studio because we drink so much of it.
I bought a bottle tonight.
At $20 a bottle, man. I mean, how can you go wrong, right?
I gotta say, it's the best $20 bourbon I've ever had.
I like to put a little water in it to open it up.
Yep.
I think it's fabulous.
Yep.
So
You're certainly
Fantastic.
not going to get anything better for the
No,
price
not for the
range.
price. And I tell you what, fantastic pairing with a lot of cigars. I
Yeah.
mean, so.
okay. So when Tim and I get a little further down, we'll do the reveal on the first one, and then light up the second one during. We'll light up whenever it feels right is when we'll light it up. So let's see. On to what we've been smoking. Let's get right into it, Tim. I'm super excited to talk about all the stuff that I've smoked this week. I added a couple at the end, so I wouldn't forget to talk about them that I smoked yesterday. So. Let's get right into it. Punch SS1. That's the Super Selection 1.
Yep.
This one's from 2008. And I have to say, these are smoking awesome right now. And if I had to choose the flavor, it would be graham cracker flavors
That's
with
awesome.
some wood notes. It's stronger than your average Cuban. And the flavors have really sweetened up. I probably got these on just about a year ago.
Yep.
I have to say now is the prime time to be smoking. I think, the 40 years that it's got of age on it is... Absolutely.
You sold me one and only one a year ago, and unfortunately,
it? Yeah, you
it
know
was
why?
plugged.
I did. See, now I've had good luck with the construction on these.
Now,
Now,
he wouldn't sell me any more, which told me they were good. So
I did a 3-way box split
Yes,
on
you did,
this,
yeah.
so I didn't have as many as I normally
in
would.
all fairness.
Yeah. This was actually a tip from a fellow brother of the Leaf who said, "Hey, if you order from this website, this cigar is discontinued. They're not making it anymore, and the box dates he has are from 2008."
I didn't realize they discontinued.
I placed the order, and that last box was shipped to me, and they were taken off the website.
No kidding.
So when I got them in, I opened up the box, and it was just this wonderful aroma. I mean, absolutely wonderful aroma.
I love when that happens.
And I was taking the cigars out of the box and putting them in bags to give to the other people. I was splitting, like crying. I was like, no, I have to split these. Oh my god.
Yeah, he.
But you
when
know what?
he handed me the one he handed me, you could tell his hand was shaking.
Yeah,
it was.
But you
Could
know
have
what?
always
though?
gone that it was lost in transit or
Yeah, exactly.
confiscated and just,
Yeah, but you know what? That's
refunded
part
them
of
their money.
Yeah, no, that's part of the brotherhood. The people that I split the box with, one of which was Stogie Santa, greatly appreciate them and really enjoy them. And I hope that if you have some, especially from 2008, I encourage you to smoke them now because, like I said, they are smoking fabulous.
Excellent.
Let's keep on the Havana kick here, Tim.
Yeah, sure, man. Hey, shout out to Aaron's, a.k.a. Subdriven, who's in the chat room.
Hey.
Good friend,
What's up,
longtime friend of the Paul.com show.
I was going to say longtime listener of our podcast.
And personal
so.
friend, too. So, man. Hey, Aaron, dude. Peace. Yeah, so Cuban. Stogie Santa gifted me this last week during the podcast. I smoked it with my coffee last Saturday morning. It's the Hoya de Monterey de Deuce. Did I pronounce that correctly?
They do,
De Deuce.
I think.
Yeah, not plural.
Please correct us if we're wrong.
Wow, I really liked this smoke, and I liked it even better when Stogie Santa texted me back and told me it only had 6 months of age on it.
Yeah, so this was a box split between Stogie Santa and myself.
Yeah, I gotta tell you what,
Was
man.
that after the one that I gave to you decided to go that way? Or
No, you gave me one with a ton more age.
No, I know that, but
And
is
it
that
was
what inspired the
No,
purchase?
I had the box before you gave me the one with a ton of age. So it was awesome to see what this cigar is going to become because with
Yeah,
age,
I can imagine, man.
It's heavenly.
I mean, I got a lot of the typical cedar spice, but I got some cocoa coming and going on the finish, which is very unusual. I don't think I've ever gotten that off a Cuban, personally.
And it's interesting. One of the other reviews that I heavily rely on for Cuban cigars is Cigar Inspector.
Yep.
It's got a great website. I mean, just about any Cuban I'm looking at, he's got a review on. And he picked up some of the same flavor notes that you did, which is interesting.
Yeah, and
It's really cool.
I can only imagine what these are going to do with age. I say box worthy. It is definitely a box in my future, in one form or the other. So
It is a great morning smoke.
Oh yeah, they're
Absolutely.
awesome. Phenomenal.
Mark Jr., have you smoked any Cubans lately? Cigars, that is.
of course he has.
Yeah, I smoked a Trinidad Coloniales the other day in efforts to see if I liked them as much liked them enough to grab a box before they disappear forever.
Yeah, so there's some stuff going on with the Trinidad brand, correct?
It's being completely discontinued.
The whole brand.
I heard a mix on that, though. Initially, reports were that it's being discontinued, and then I heard that it wasn't. They were just going to pull back a little bit. So
Okay, maybe that's true.
But
I heard first that they were getting rid of the two Vitolas, and I'm not even going to say in fear of saying the wrong ones. But then
you don't want people to buy them out before you do either. So
that's true. That too. But then I heard that the whole brand was being discontinued, which would be a shame. They're not my favorite, but they are good. The Reyes, especially the Petit Corona, is a very enjoyable short.
Now, the Robusto tea is also a popular one from them as
but
well.
that's one of the ones that was definitely being discontinued.
Yeah, it was
in
definitely
the beginning
being
was the Robusto tea.
Okay.
because there was a lot of weeping on the forums about that one particularly.
Yeah,
So,
now,
And then
Stogie
Coloniales,
Santa
which
gave me a Robusto tea, and I wasn't a big fan of the flavor profile, but, I mean, I smoked one. Who knows?
I can't comment. I've never had a Trinidad, so I'm going to leave it to you guys. But
Interestingly enough, the Coloniales was the first Cuban I ever smoked, and it was, and I loved it, right? And since then I've acquired, I've smoked quite a few more of them, and I like a lot of them more than that one. But I've always kind of had that sentimentality towards it because it was the first one I've ever smoked. So I went back to it. I had a couple more of them, and I thought it was very good. This leads me to my crux with a lot of Cuban cigars. Is that you can't just buy 5 or 10. You have to buy the box unless
you can, but on certain sites, but it's very expensive.
Right.
It's not
worth it,
conscious.
right?
Yeah.
So I place it. Had a nice Cuban sweetness to it. Had that woodsy, Cuban.
Twang.
Yeah, exactly. That Cuban twang, that woodsiness that you find in almost all Cubans, for that matter. I put it in firmly in a 5-er, maybe even
Fair
a
enough.
10.
Fair enough.
I actually I pulled some tobacco out of my cigar that I was smoking. I've been kind of, I don't know, I've been known to do that lately. I don't know if it's I wouldn't recommend it to people necessarily, but sometimes if it draws a little snug or it's doing some funky things, if you can get a hold on a little bit of the tobacco, and or especially if there's a stem, and pull it out, sometimes it has a tendency to open up. Also, you can kind of gauge the moisture level of the tobacco, and this one feels a little wet. This was on the bottom of my new humidor, which I'm still kind of getting settled out. Yep. So maybe we'll talk about a little bit.
Those just came in too.
Yeah, we'll talk a little more about that maybe in the beginning of the next segment.
Okay, fair enough.
I had the Arturo Fuente Work of Art Maduro from 2006, I believe, from Mark Jr. Now, I don't really get excited about this cigar. I mean, it was good. Don't get me wrong. I enjoyed it, but it didn't really wow me in terms of flavor profile.
What'd you get in terms of flavors off of it?
I don't even remember. It was
Really?
Now,
it was kind of a typical Hemingway Maduro flavor profile. Smooth with a little bit of spice.
Sure.
Flavors, like I said, I really don't remember. Maybe my expectations were too high, but my experience now smoking a lot of the Hemingway Maduros, and I have a picture, and I wasn't too happy with the picture, so I haven't published it yet. So I'm going to take another one. Maybe when we get a light box for taking pictures.
I've already got that taken care of. So
Yeah, so maybe I'll give you the cigars to take a picture of. But I've got everything from the masterpiece down to the short story in a Maduro.
Sure.
So I have all those cigars, all the sizes in the Hemingway line. And my experience is sometimes they're a little flat, and sometimes they're like amazing. And I've experienced that now on and I've smoked most of the, if not all of the sizes in that line. So I don't know if there's some. I'm finding inconsistencies in that blend because I smoked some work of art Maduros that have been fabulous.
I'm going to agree 100% with you, and I'm going to go with it. One of the ones on my list is the bestseller Maduro, which is also on that line that you gifted me, Paul. Thank you.
So how was that? Talk about that.
Bestseller's the same length as a work of art. Am I
Yes.
correct? Am I right?
If
It's
you
just
look
the
at
work
them
of
in
art
the
and it's
smaller
more
ring
bulbous,
gauge.
right?
Yes, yeah.
smaller
You're
ring,
exactly right, Mark June. Because I was trying to say, like, what are the differences in size?
It's the
And it's
end
exactly
that really
that.
bulbs out on the work
Yes,
of art. Yeah.
yes.
Again, I agree with you 100%. I think they're hit or miss. This one was a miss for me. I thought it was flat. Whereas others I've had from that line have been phenomenal. I
Yeah.
mean, they're Oasis.
Now, see, the bestseller I smoked was Oasis. Now, so
and-
much so that I bought a box
Really?
of bestseller Maduros. You can buy them
Well,
from.
hopefully the rest of the boxes.
I hate to plug websites, but whatever. They seem to be the exclusive retailer right now where you can buy bestseller Maduros. That's Thompson Cigar.
They're hard to find.
Free shipping. I bought a box for $159.
That's not bad. That's a good deal.
I'm like, you know what?
I'd buy it too.
And you can buy it with PayPal, so I had some PayPal money sloshing around. I mean, what's better than that, right?
Yeah, right.
I mean, going back to the line, a work of art is one of the first Arturo Fuentes I ever had back when they were still limited. And it wowed me. I mean, it blew my mind. I so much so I started trying every single size and every single different line that they had. But I agree with you 100%. They had definitely hit or miss.
See, I find that level of inconsistency is more prevalent in the bigger Hemingway sizes.
I would agree with
I
that.
would agree, yeah.
Like as they get bigger, they become less consistent. To me personally, I've had almost no experiences where I didn't enjoy a work of art Maduro or a short story Maduro.
Well,
I freely admit it very well may be my palate on that given day. I mean,
yeah.
What's interesting is
love
the Untold Story Maduro. I've had a lot of good luck with, but I smoked one not too long ago. I talked about it in the show, and it was just okay.
Yeah.
So, and I
have
bought
some
almost a full box of those too, and I bought
those had some age on them, though, I believe, right?
and I bought a full box of the masterpieces too.
Okay.
And the masterpieces I smoked. Now, granted, they had some plume on them. Those were unbelievable. So I think it's a line where I think the whole line in every Vitola in the line is probably box worthy, knowing that a couple you might get might be flat, but the ones that aren't are
They're
just
worth it.
unbelievable.
They're worth pursuing. They're
Yeah.
worth checking out.
In my opinion, the work of art Maduro specifically is in my top 5. Like if I had to randomly name off my top 5 favorite cigars,
And that these are
it
all
would probably be in
just to bring everybody up to speed. These are all perfectos,
yeah.
I believe, correct?
Yep. Yep. Oh,
They just
yeah,
vary in
Hemingway,
length and
yeah.
in size. So as far as the Hemingway Maduro, so
One smoke that I have on my list that I deem as I said it's a top-notch classy smoke. I don't know. There's a certain level of classiness that I associate with the smoke, and that's a PG Symphony Salomon.
Okay.
The sizes smoke very differently. This is a Paul
very
Gamarian.
much so, yep.
The Salomon size, it pours smoke, has this wonderful flavor profile. It's not overpoweringly strong. It's something you can take down in the late morning or after lunch kind of thing. And they've all smoked beautifully, and it has to be one of my favorite Salomons. And I know I've talked about it before, but I like them so much that I smoked another one. It was kind of like, well, I know we talked about this already, but I'm going to smoke another one anyway because I just enjoy smoking this particular Vitola. And
That's all that matters.
and it's just a wonderful, nice, subtle spice. Great flavor profile. It's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful cigar. Now, they're $18 a stick.
Are they that much?
Yeah,
Really?
they're $18 a stick. They come in boxes of 10. I'm saying box worthy on this one.
I would agree.
Yeah.
One thing I really enjoy about that particular Salomon is the consistency of them in terms of burn and construction.
Yeah, that's true.
Because I've noticed with a lot of different Salomons, there is an inherent level of inconsistency.
Yep.
For instance, the La Flor Dominicana Salomons that came out, when they're on, like really, really awesome smokes. But I've had a few of them that just sucked. They were burning horribly, and it really affected.
Stunk with PG-13.
Sorry, really diminished my my smoking experience. So I would agree with you that it's box worthy, despite the fact that they're so expensive.
Yeah.
Only because I would be 100% confident that if I bought a box of 10, I would have 10 phenomenal.
Yeah, I
smoking
agree with that
experiences.
assessment. Now, Stogie Santa sold me. I wanted to sample some more of the PG line.
Yep.
Because I really like his smokes, and what Stogie Santa recommended was a 15th anniversary Bellicoso.
I saw those in the case today.
I
Yeah.
haven't smoked it yet.
Okay.
But he says they're absolutely phenomenal. They got some pretty well aged, the ones that
I meant to ask him about them today, but I had spent so much money there
yeah.
that
They're 15 now they're $15 a cigar, so they're not inexpensive by any
none of
stretch.
the PGs are inexpensive though,
Yeah.
for the most part.
I think his prices are a little too high.
yeah.
That's just my assessment.
But when
There's a
they're-
couple of them that I'll pay the price no matter what.
Absolutely,
It is.
yeah,
Absolutely,
absolutely.
agree.
Specifically, that Symphony 20 Toro Connoisseur,
Yeah.
I think it's
Connoisseur.
called.
Yeah,
Right?
that's-
Like, I'll spend that all
Yeah,
day.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And the Salomon, I'll spend it all day.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so on to my list. Next one on my list, the Padilla Miami 8 and 9 Corona. This is from 2008. One of the original Pepin blended Miamis. Stogie Santa, thank you. You gifted this to me last week. This smoke packs a lot of punch. I have no doubt about it, even after 4 years. Lots of pepper up front. Really enjoyable, earthy, woody core. Burn and drawer A+. Very well balanced. Very well balanced. If you can find them, it's box worthy. I haven't had a lot of them, but I truly enjoy them. So
No, this is the what is an 8 and 9?
yeah, so I'm not sure what the 8 and 9 stands for. The original Miamis had them on the label. I believe it's on the right-hand side. They did re-release these recently. However, I haven't had any of the newer releases. It's worth pursuing, though. I'm curious of what the new release is doing. I might actually order some up just so I can see. Very different profile than the signature 1932s, which everybody knows who listens to this podcast is one of my probably top 10 smokes of all time.
Now wait, is this the one with it's kind of black and red on the band?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Stogie Santa was smoking one last week.
Yes, he gifted
Okay.
me one during the show.
Nice,
So,
nice.
I can't say what the new ones are doing, but if you can find some of the originals, a fantastic smoke.
Yeah, he really likes those. So you're deemed a box worthy. So you agree with his assessment?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
So next on my list, I smoked an Avo LE 2011.
I'm curious. Yeah, go ahead.
Stupidly,
You
I-
did it in the morning, didn't you?
I did. I thought this was more mild than I thought it was mild. I remember this as being kind of mild. So I'm like, well, I had breakfast. I had a little snack.
It's not just you. I remember them being
Oh, my
milder a year
God,
ago. Yeah.
it's not mild.
I
at
think
all.
it's
At
kinda-
all. At all.
I
Yeah.
think it's getting stronger, dude.
I
really do.
I had serious nicotine sickness from it.
yeah.
So, like,
I mean, I was reaching for I was like chugging Diet Cokes, and like I was still feeling a little ill. I mean, it fixed the nicotine. You know, so for those out there, if you get a little nicotine sickness, you feel very queasy, kind of sick to your stomach. You take some sugar, Diet Coke. It works for me. Whatever works for you. Sugary soda, candy bar, whatever.
Personally, it's Dr. Pepper,
Yeah,
not diet.
and it helps that nicotine sickness. And I did that, and I still felt a little ill. Like I wanted to smoke another cigar, but like I had to smoke something really mild, you know, because
Yeah.
it was strong, much stronger than I remember. I'm gonna take these down at nighttime now. I mean, the flavors are outstanding. I mean, this cigar is
Yeah.
smoking.
yeah, as far as
incredible.
limited edition Avos,
It is an incredible
it was,
smoke,
I believe it was number one on my list last
box worthy without a
Yeah.
doubt. Maybe even Oasis.
I remember a conversation Tim and I had, and he said something about it being mild. So I went home and like instantly was like, "Oh, I better smoke these while they're still good."
year.
and
It's gotten
smoked it and
stronger,
was
man.
like, what is he thinking? This
Yeah,
thing is not.
it's not mild
no, it's
anymore.
not going to age out anytime soon.
Yeah.
So
That's exactly what I have in the notes. Is these will not age out. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the perfect assessment. I agree 100%. So
Yeah. Tim, I'm curious to see Quesada, coup d'etat howitzer.
Kudida howitzer. Yeah. So this is a 6x60 version of the Molotov, same line that they came out with a few months ago. I smoked the second one this week. I actually enjoyed it. I'm not a big 6x60 ring gauge guy, but I actually liked it better than the Molotov, which was a Perfecto. Perfect burn, perfect draw. Some good medium body flavors with wood, a mild spice, floral nose. Not a strong cigar. I'd say medium bodied at best. I said the fiver. It could be box worthy with time. I'd have to smoke more than the 1 or 2 I had to determine that. But definitely worth a visit. They're not going to be around long. They're very limited production. They're out there right now on the web. Check it out. So
Nice. Very nice. Camacho Diploma 1118.
I've had this smoke.
Have you had this smoke?
Yeah.
I thought this was a great smoke. It had some age on it. I love this size. It had a great, little bit of like an earthy kind of undertone, but just a beautifully smoking cigar. This size is absolutely amazing to me. We've talked about the 1118 size on the show, and the diplomas with age. I think some of the reviews I read, probably the cigars didn't have as much age as the one I had on the smoke shop. Someone's knocking here at the man cave.
It must be Ben.
And it is Ben.
Ben, how you doing, Ben?
What's going on, Ben?
He brings gifts and a guest.
Yes. Grab a seat, guys. So the diploma for me was an excellent smoke. I really, really liked it. Great smoking experience, I guess is what I want to say about the size. And I say these are box worthy.
Now, quick question. I believe the diploma comes in different wrappers. Was this the Maduro?
It was not the Maduro. This was a regular diploma, which I believe had a Corojo, a Honduran Corojo wrapper. I might be wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure it was a Honduran Corojo.
I could be wrong, but I believe I had the Maduro. I believe they do come in different wrappers.
They do come in an 1118 Maduro, which is supposed to be really good as well.
And I want to say you're the one that gifted me that.
It could be, yeah. I probably did because So what happened was Mr. J Savannah Shop was closing out a bunch of old Camacho stuff, and I bought a mixing in like 2 different batches of closeouts. I bought a mixing of all this Camacho stuff. I really didn't even know what I was buying. I kind of just trusted Stogie Santa. I'm like, I'll try a bunch of this stuff. You know, he said it was good. He said it wasn't like blow you away kind of stuff, but I thought this one was really, really good. So
excellent.
People are throwing cutters at you, dude.
Yeah, sorry. I was giving our guests cutters and lighters. So next one on my list. You smoked the T52 Double Corona last week, I believe, Paul?
Yes.
I did the number 9.
Number 9 Double Corona. I've had this cigar before. What did you think?
I never had it. It's been resting since October. Gift from Big Al for my birthday, my 40th birthday. So it's been resting for quite some time. 2.5 hour journey, man. I smoked this while I was working late Monday night for my deck. Typical number 9 flavors. You really can't go wrong with the flavors there. Construction wise, perfect. Perfect. I say box worthy. Really, what a journey.
I find their 9s and T52 Double Coronas have impeccable construction. I can't say the same about the rest of their sizes, but the Double Coronas smoke really well.
The Toro's the go-to for me. I've never had a problem with the
Toro. I find the flavors to be a little more muted in the Double Corona than the other sizes.
I would agree with that. Yeah. The Robusto and the Toro definitely have a little bit.
But great smoking experience.
Absolutely. Recommend it. It's a big stick, man. It's 7x52. So you better dedicate some time to that bad boy.
Yeah.
And at the price, you definitely want to, you want to sit down and enjoy it. I want to say they were about $14 to $15 a whack. So
nice. Let's see. So I've got the Tatuaje Veracruz. I believe this is number 5. Stogie Santa brought these out from the back, and listener Parrot Theod Pete so we'll call him Parrot Pete in the chat. Pete is one of our faithful listeners, which I met in.
He's had 2 glasses of bourbon, guys.
Yeah,
he's speaking Tim right now.
Yes. So he really likes this one. Now, this one had a gigantic void or hole inside of it.
That's not good.
I toughed through it. The flavors were really nice. Although the Red Label or the Veracruz series of Tatuaje, I find has these construction problems. But the flavors were really good. And I really liked it.
Yeah, that's got some kick on it, too, man.
It does, yeah. It's got a nice little spice and punch and, good flavor profile.
Now, the deal with the Veracruz, from what I understand from the regular Havana 6s, the red line, is he did kick up the Ligero quite a bit in them. So they do have a little bit more kick.
And I think they age well. These had some age on them, so.
I
they
just
have
got
that
one, so I can't
nice
wait to try
Ligero sweetness.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, that's a great assessment. But Tim.
All right, back to me. I'm curious to know if you guys smoked this yet, actually. It's the Viejo Exclusivo Robusto. This is the new 2012 that just came out a couple weeks ago.
You know, it's been on my list. I haven't smoked one yet.
Okay.
I heard they're really good though.
I smoked one.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It's awesome.
Yeah. I think a year, putting this down for a year, is going to make this phenomenal. I mean, I got a little bit of harshness on it. The flavors were great. The burn was good. But a lot of Yahes, if you can put them down for 6 months to a year.
Well, that's the thing with a lot of them is that they just tend to put stuff. They put so many releases out that
Quickly.
that they get rushed a little bit. But
Yeah.
you can see the potential in some of them like right away, and this is one of them.
Absolutely.
So, Paul, I wouldn't even waste one right now, to be honest with
Really?
you. Yeah.
Okay.
Smoke one now.
Not that it would be a waste. I enjoyed it. I
Yeah.
certainly did enjoy it. But I would agree with Tim's assessment in the sense that there was some harshness there. But there are flavors there that will, when they do develop,
When they
will
mash,
be awesome.
I mean, I got some earth, pepper, coffee, wood. Once those things
I
mash.
would agree with that, yeah. It's going to be great.
Right now, I said $5, box worthy a year from now. I have no doubt.
Yeah, but there's no chance you're
There's
gonna
no
get
chance.
it.
There's no chance you're getting a box.
Well,
yeah.
so
So if you were lucky enough to get a $5, then good to go.
I mean, they're very limited edition. They always are. They've had about a dozen different sizes over the last couple of years. I had the Petite Corona last year.
the short,
Yes, the short.
aren't those awesome?
Those are awesome.
They're still around
Yeah.
at that place
Yeah.
we go to.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Good to know. Who may be a sponsor of the show. Just saying.
Yeah, that
Oh,
place.
never mind. I didn't say that. Never mind. Moving on.
So I'm not going to say where I got this one. It was a very special gift from a mutual friend of all of ours, who's not Stogie Santa. I had the opportunity to smoke a Padron Millennium. This is the ever so coveted, very special release from Padron about 12 years ago.
They were
At the
released in
Millennium.
2000.
At the Millennium. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. So they were. I don't know much about this cigar other than it's highly coveted, selling for about $50 a stick.
Yeah.
And this is Oasis, hands down. I mean, not that you're going to find this cigar anywhere. I mean, you may find one
Yep.
if you want to pay the premium for it or trade or just happen to be lucky. I just happen to be lucky to get one. And I'm going to say this is what I said about it. Unique flavors with an awesome sauce finish.
Awesome
Awesome
sauce.
sauce.
Is the
Awesome
word,
sauce.
folks.
It was like if
That's
someone
that's a Twitter track.
like if
tag
you
right
bought
there.
if you bought awesome sauce and put it in a cigar, that's what it would taste like.
Awesome.
It's just
That leaves me hanging.
the unbelievable like complexity. I mean, for a Padron, it's by far the most complex Padron. I mean, the flavors that just developed.
That's
It-
saying a lot.
It has that 12-year-old like really old aged cigar that just presents unique flavors kind of finish. Like some cigars age out. Some cigars have great flavors when they're aged, but this one had that really unique melding of just really flavors you would never
I'm
think.
excited because I have one. So
It's I mean, without question, this was my top smoke of the week.
wow.
So I would have
Without question.
I do have to put this caveat in there is we all know the story about my father-in-law, and he gifted, like when he passed away, I got a ton of cigars. There happened to be 2 Padron Millenniums in there.
Okay.
And I was talking with Stogie Santa about it, and I never smoked one. Obviously, they're exceedingly rare.
Yep.
And Stogie Santa said, "You know what? Go home and fire it up right now, because they're starting to,
They're starting to
they're
turn.
starting
out.
to do this. You know, they're
Yeah.
starting to come down
For those who are not on the video, he's saying
back
down.
out of the
Yeah.
galaxy, or back out of the universe for that matter."
The smoking
And when I
experience is on the
smoked
downhill track.
it was outrageously good.
How would you describe I can't even begin to describe the flavors that came off the cigar. Just
It changed at least 4 times.
Yeah,
If
yeah.
I remember correctly, there
Yeah.
was like 4 movements in it. And the I
it was
agree with your
a moving
assessment.
experience.
Yeah, I'm like at a loss for words almost, but it was so.
Would you say Oasis?
Oh, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
but the thing is if you can get them, grab them and smoke them now.
Yep,
like
absolutely,
now.
I agree.
I'm excited because I have one, and I've made a decision this weekend be Memorial Day, and I have a 4-day weekend scheduled.
Yes.
That it's going to be Epic Cigar Weekend, and this is going to be
No.
one of them.
Tim's epic cigar weekend.
You know, the original Daisy Cutter is going to be another.
Yeah. Oh, you're gonna like
that
that
I've
a
never
lot.
had.
Yeah.
A little history on the smoke. It was released at the Millennium.
Yep.
There was only 100 humidors released with these in them.
And they were very heavy cedar. I don't know. The one that I smoked came right out of the original humidor.
Okay.
and I got a lot of that, especially up front, a lot of heavy cedar. It dissipated as you smoked, but a lot of that heavy cedar flavor. And you don't often get that in a lot of cigars, but I find the Padron, I mean, they put them in a really heavy cedar kind of like if you buy a gift pack and you leave them in that wooden box gift pack,
they're going to pick up some of that
they're
flavor.
going to absorb that cedar flavor, and it was almost a little overpowering in the beginning, but it dissipates. Like I almost think that it's like a superficial flavor that's absorbed because it's not in the tobacco. It's something it's picking up from the packaging, so it tends to dissipate.
It's funny you say that because I didn't get that at all, and that hadn't been sitting in the humidor that it came from. It was in my humidor. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
For a long time.
So if you like that cedar flavor, leave it in the original packaging. If you don't, take it out. You know?
Yeah, sure.
Excellent.
So Tim, are we ready to do the reveal on the unbanded number 2? Mark Jr. still smoking his.
Yep. Do you want to wait to the end of our Stogies of the week? We have one each.
No, we'll do it now. We'll do it now, and then we'll finish up. And
I finished mine. I really enjoyed the second half.
I did too.
The draw opened up, which I think helped the flavors.
A nice wood flavor. Yeah. I didn't get a lot of earth.
No.
I definitely got a lot of the wood flavor and a nice spice.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think, Muck?
I'm in my second half now, and I was just before you said that, I was thinking about what Tim said earlier about that the second half really kicked it up a little bit, and it did. And, you know, I don't want to put it out. I'm going to keep smoking it until it's gone.
We'll see if your guess is correct. Does your guess earlier still stand out?
So what is your guess? Do you want to venture to guess as I'm opening the envelope? Hold on. Hey, we got ready?
Hey, last time, my guess proved right, and I'm going to stick with it.
So what's your guess, Mark Jr.?
The Punch Petite Corona, 5x42.
And that's Cuban, pure.
Cuban, and it's got some time on it.
Okay, here we go. This is the unbanded number 2 from Gravity at Brothers Elise. Thank you very much.
A.K.A. Tim.
A.K.A. Tim. This is the Partagas Aristocrats. It's a 5x40 Petite Corona.
Okay.
Box of 25 sells for $80. This came from a box code of BAP February 11.
So it's relatively new. Yeah.
This was machine made until 2002, currently handmade. Here's what Tim, a.k.a. Gravity, says on Brothers of the Leaf. These are one of my primary go-to smokes. Sadly, they have the Partagas curse of plugs. And knowing Paul's luck, I threw in an extra one just in case.
I was wondering why one pack had 5 rather than 4. So okay.
I'm gonna show the 2 that were plugged. Wow, you hit the nail on the head, listener Tim. He says, I've had some of these out of the box and was able to pull a dozen different flavors out of. Others, though, didn't seem to be as complex. I'm interested to hear what you guys think of it. So
interesting. Thank you, man. That's
I
awesome.
was a dead on Tim Gravity on BOTL. Thank you very much for the unbanded. I loved that. Was a lot of fun.
That was awesome.
I'd like to do more of that.
Right there.
Yes, thank you very much.
Do we want to light up the second one?
Yeah, we're going to light up the second one.
And we'll continue on.
Yeah, let's talk about some more. One more Cuban that I have on my list, which is the Romeo and Juliet short Churchill. This is the short Churchill. You get these for about $184 a box is what I'm because just to give you a hint, I'm looking at box. So when I'm looking at box prices, you know I really like.
You liked it. I gifted this. To
Loved this smoke. Nice, sweet, woody flavor from the beginning. Earthy on the finish. This is an outstanding representation of the Cuban blend. My only complaint is that I wish this was the largest Vitola.
Yeah, I mean, it's a short smoke. It's going to take you an hour to take it down, maybe a little less. I mean, I guess you could take it down in 15 minutes.
Yeah.
What do you think of the strength?
I thought it was mild in the beginning, but I thought it had a pretty strong finish.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. I'd agree with that. I really love these with coffee in the morning, but I would recommend probably eating beforehand.
Yeah, I agree, because that finishes got a little kick to it.
Yeah. I bought a box. I say box worthy, hands down. Probably I'm going to buy a second box in the near future.
This is box worthy for sure.
The great thing about this smoke, and I keep saying this, is, and I talked about it last week, is I think both the novice can appreciate it, and I think the aficionado can appreciate it. I've given it to 3 different people who are very novice cigar smokers. They smoke once every couple months, and they absolutely loved it. And I've given it to people who smoke every single day, and they absolutely love it. That's just my assessment of it. So I'm glad you enjoyed it, dude.
Thank you. Yeah, awesome. I'm going to buy a box for sure. So. Yeah, this is on my short list.
You have some of these, I believe, right?
Oh yeah. Since it's been maybe 2 weeks, 3 weeks, maybe since I've smoked one. But it was shortly after you did the review for the site on it.
Yeah. Those were older ones. Those are 3 years old.
Yeah, mine are older too.
Yeah.
I was inspired to smoke it at that time, and it was really super enjoyable. It was. I've now since then had 2 more. I think I smoked like 3 of them in like a 10-day span.
Easy to do.
Yeah, and they were. I was pleasantly surprised that there was no construction issues out of 3, which is rare on Cuban cigars.
Yep.
So that I think is a notch towards making it box worthy. It's also, I mean, it was just a really great, enjoyable hour-long smoke. I would agree with Tim's assessment that I was an hour. I think they all clocked in within give or take 5 minutes of an hour. So
Excellent.
Very nice.
I got one left.
Go
Smoked
for
it today before the show. They just came in very limited for whatever reason. I don't know if it's production problems. They're literally flying off the shelves. As soon as they hit the internet retailers, they're gone within a few hours. It's the Undercrown Viver from Drew Estate. This is the Corona. Gorgeous stick, oily, pre-light draw. I got a lot of the perfect amount of resistance. First, let me say that off the pre-light draw. I got some rich Nicaraguan tobacco, almost a raisin-type sweetness off of it. It took the flame perfectly. I was welcome to a lot stronger of a smoke than the regular Undercrown, but a nice mix of cedar, leather, and what I call syrupy sweetness. I couldn't really place it. At first, I thought maybe it was a raisin sweetness. Then I thought it was a berry sweetness. It continued on about an inch in. It did kind of tone down on the strength, but it was still very enjoyable. This thing smoldered just like its big brother, Liga Privada. I mean, just poured smoke, which I love. I just love seeing that in the smoke. I liked it. I say 5-er. However, I need to smoke more before making really an honest, good assessment. I know you guys have some, but I don't believe you guys have smoked them yet, correct?
no, I haven't.
Okay.
You just handed them to me before the show.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I got one. That was it.
It's worth a visit. I liked it better than the larger ring gauges Undercrown, so
Nice.
I think it had a little bit more flavor, a little more strength. So
I've kind of always thought that the Undercrown would perform better in a smaller ring gauge.
yeah, and I
Same
think
thing.
I'm,
Same thing
like,
with the
interested
Mayuzi
to
weighs a
try
ton.
them.
yeah, look at the baitfish, man. I love
I've never
the
tried the
baitfish.
baitfish, and
Oh, we're gonna have to
apparently they're going to
rectify
come
that.
out more like regularly.
Yeah,
I
they
heard.
are. Yeah,
well,
they
right
are.
now they're an exclusive to New Havana Cigars.com.
But that's changing.
Right, but that's
that's gonna
changing. I
change.
heard, so
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that to happen, so I can get some because. Again, I remember when you did a review for it, and ever since then I've wanted to try them.
Yeah.
I've been really intimidated by their other sizes because I'm just not a 60 ring
Oh,
gauge
they're
fan
all
at
60
all.
ring gauges, yeah.
And it's, some of them are just absurd. They're like 7 by 60.
Much like the baitfish, they did change this blend slightly from what I read. They did kick up the strength a bit. And you notice it. You do
Okay.
notice it. But I think that's a welcome addition to somebody like us who do like stronger cigars.
Yeah,
So,
stronger, smaller cigars.
yeah. I mean, so
I think it's really hard to make a strong 60 ring gauge cigar anyway.
It is.
I
It
think
is,
it's just
yeah.
got to be really, really hard to do that.
Unless it's a Salomon or something like that.
Right, but then
'Cause in the
then we're
the
talking
finish,
about it's
yeah.
really funneling down towards
Exactly,
at the end. And
exactly.
yeah.
Speaking of that kind of size, Tatawahe RC 184 is one of the ones I smoked this week.
Still haven't had one of them either.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I got to do it, dude.
Do you have
just
some?
Stogie
No,
Santa
I-
has those, man.
Yeah.
So does Joy, or so does Dr. or Mr. J's. Like
Yeah,
they have
that's
them
what I
there.
mean,
I
yeah.
don't know why I haven't done it yet, but I've been meaning to and just never have.
So I'm reading from NiceTideAsh.com. Our good friends over at Nice Tide Ash have a review of the 184. I'm going to read from there. They describe it as a monster cigar, 7 1/4 by 54, or 184 millimeters long. Hence the RC 184. It's a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper with a Nicaraguan binder and filler. And I have to say that mine had almost too loose of a draw. I mean, the draw was almost a little too loose. Not horrible, but very loose draw, and smoked wonderfully. I mean, spice, cream, flavors, just wood. It's an explosion of flavors. It's unbelievable.
Does it live up to its name of the retro Cuban?
there is a Cuban-esque kind of flavor. It does have some of those subtle flavors. It's hard, I think, to take Nicaraguan tobacco and make something that tastes like Cuban.
Now, that is indeed true, man.
What we learned on last show is
Dominican, maybe, but
what we learned on last show is a lot of the Cuban blends are of the type Corojo. So Corojo's a type of plant, right?
Absolutely.
So it's Cuban Corojo. This is a Nicaraguan Corojo wrapper. It's a gigantic stick and just wonderful smoking experience. I mean, the whole thing.
It's a journey.
It's a journey. They actually make a 233,
Which is even bigger.
which is longer.
Yeah.
And it's 9 inches long.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Yeah. It's awesome though. I don't know. Not as awesome as the 184.
But it's good.
Yeah, it loses a little flavor in that size, in the larger size.
That,
I would imagine so.
I haven't had the larger. I reviewed the 184 back in November, December now, but
it's a
solid.
I tell you, I went back to the box I bought more recently within the last year I had, let me see, Stogie Santa gifted me one, a 184 that had like tons of age. It was like from the original release of 184.
Yeah.
And it was magical. I mean, those are just unbelievable. The 233 was just okay from the same kind of year. Then they re-released them in 2011, which is probably the one you smoked. So I went back to my 2011 box, and that's the one I smoked. And I picked up a couple more from the original blend, and it was just amazing. I bought them online for like $20 a stick. Don't pay that much for them now. I don't know what a box retails for now. I believe they come in boxes of 10, and they're not all that. They're not $20 a stick.
They're not
certainly.
Too much. I mean, they're 15.
15, yeah, you're probably at $14, $15 a cigar. And I tell you, it's a box that you have to have. I mean, box worthy, hands down. It's one of my favorite Tatuaje blends. Absolutely.
Excellent.
Yeah, it's a great.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah, it's a great smoking experience.
I mean,
it really is.
Which is saying a lot.
Yeah,
I've never been disappointed.
Puts out a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, I've never been disappointed in this blend, and like I said, the smoking experience is one of the best. So.
Sure. Well, then I'm gonna have to do that tomorrow when I go.
Yes, you definitely should.
So I think that's We Can Smoke, but I do want to do a couple shout-outs.
Gurkha Cellar Reserve.
Okay, go ahead.
I had that. This was a sample, and they're pushing the retailers hard. They came out with the Seduction and the Cellar Reserve,
which are brick and mortar only.
Releases, and they're pushing hard. And our local shop, we talked about a lot on the past shows and this show too. They're trying to make the assessment, and Tim and I are kind of helping with that because Gurkha sent us samples a while back. I really liked the Seduction. I really liked the Churchill Gurkha Cellar Reserve. The one that I smoked was really good. Tim, I know you had some construction problems with it.
Yes.
Very
tight draw.
This particular Vitola was exactly, they mimicked exactly the feral flying pig.
Really?
Right down, the pigtail cap, the shape, the size, everything.
So 6x60 Perfecto, essentially.
The same Vitola.
Actually, it's at a 5.5.
Down, down to the, I wish I had another one to hold up to the feral flying pig because the shape and size is almost exactly the same. The flavors were kind of flat. I wasn't a big fan.
Okay.
It had some okay flavor. It tasted very young, though. I could tell this one did not have a lot of age on it at all. I got that.
Wait a second. The
I think it was Ben that was in the lounge, and he said, it kind of smells has that barnyard kind of flavor that hints towards a young cigar.
I thought the Reserva, though, the Cellar Reserva had 15 years of age on the filler.
Yeah, but after they rolled it, they didn't age it that much.
Okay.
And it had that barnyard flavor.
So you think they aged the tobacco, but the cigar itself
it could be
hadn't melted yet.
Either the wrapper binder or filler probably had some leaf that was 15 years old, certainly, but altogether they didn't age it long enough, in my opinion. So
interesting.
Not my favorite size in that blend. The Churchill's much better. I would buy the Churchill on a regular basis. I liked that cigar a lot.
See, I was disappointed only because the 4 or 5 I smoked, I couldn't draw them. I
had a great draw, which is weird because usually I'm the one having.
It was the same box. That's the weirdest thing.
Yeah.
It's because we split the box.
No, I smoked one when I was fishing, and like I said in the past show, and I thought it was great. But anyway.
So, couple shout-outs.
Shout-outs.
Kim on Facebook is commenting on our thing. Said, nice show, guys. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. Before we continue. Also, in the live stream, the Symbolist wants to know if we've ever tried the Illusione F9. I don't believe I have.
Illusione F9.
Illusione F9.
I have not. What'd you think?
It's a Lansdale size. It's awesome. And I've had a couple newer ones and a couple older ones, and the old ones were really, really good, so they age well.
Excellent.
It's a Lonsdale size, which is one of my favorite sizes because it's nice and the ring gauge is
44
small.
ring gauge.
The ring gauge is small. Yeah. Obviously, it's longer than a Corona, but not quite as long as a. It's that like comfortable size in between a Corona and a. Why am I blanking? Lancero.
Lancero, yeah.
And so the Lonsdale, I love the size.
It's a cigar.
Yeah, one of those.
Nice.
I like them a lot. And
He likes
so
sticks.
as
oh wait, we're PG-13. Never mind.
So
Nice,
yeah,
nice, Tim.
yeah. I think
Awesome.
I think it would be worth giving it a shot, guys.
It's on my list now. So
Yeah, give it a shot. It's good.
Excellent. So, Tim, your initial assessment on the unbanded number 1, which Tim and I have lit up.
All right. So first, let me say, when I first got these shipped to me and I opened them up, it smelled like a Girl Scout mint cookie.
This one did.
Yes. It's lost some of that aroma after sitting and resting for a couple weeks. But it smelled so much like a mint cookie that I actually DM'd Gravity back and said, please tell me you didn't send us an infused cigar. Because I could have
No,
sworn.
people wouldn't do that.
It's not infused. He fully said that it's
So
not
this one,
infused.
the number 2, or
It's
yeah,
the number
number
one.
2, or the number 1
Yeah.
smelled like gross. That was the one. That was the Partagas. The number 1 was the Partagas Aristocrats.
No, that's the number 2.
We smoked it first, but it was number 2.
Yes. I'm confusing you, aren't I?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We're smoking
So the
number,
second one we're smoking is the one I'm referring
is the
to
number
now.
1. Is the number 1.
Yes.
Did not smell like Girl Scout cookies.
It did.
It did. Okay.
Okay. I'm going to say this is a, what do you say, 6.5 by 54 maybe?
Yeah, it's a
Toro
pretty
size.
pretty
I'll say
large.
52.
Pretty large. Yeah, it's not a 52. I'd say it's a 54. I
Yeah,
agree.
it's a good sized Toro.
54 or 56 maybe.
I haven't got a lot of flavors off her now. It's surprisingly mellow for the size. I
Yeah,
expected
it's
more
like
flavor.
it's not a Cuban. I can tell you
It's
that.
not a
right? It's
Cuban.
not a Cuban.
I'm going to
It's
guess
like a Dominican Nicaraguan kind of thing.
It's a blend.
Yeah, it's a blend.
Yeah, it's
It's
not
a
all Nicaraguan. I wouldn't be surprised. If
I'd say it's like
Nicaraguan in
your average everyday Dominican Nicaraguan kind of blend
there.
cigar.
I agree.
Yeah.
Have you lit up yet? No, you haven't lit up yet, Mark.
No, I'm still enjoying the end of.
He's not
number
giving
2.
that up. He's nubbing that thing. So, fair enough.
What's that?
Let me savor it. That's all you're saying.
Well, yeah, and they are. They're allowing me to savor this.
I get it.
Mark Jr. is savoring it.
Yes.
I get a nice like sweet kind of nut kind of flavor from this one.
I'd agree with that. Yeah.
I'd say it's got a nutty flavor to it.
Yeah.
Is my assessment.
I just
so far.
started, so we'll see where
Not
it
a lot of
goes.
spice. Pretty smooth.
Yep. Very smooth.
Yeah.
Very smooth. We'll see where it goes. I'm only a half inch in,
Yeah, I'm
so
only a little ways into mine as well.
I've been talking a lot, so
smoking pretty
I'll
good.
concentrate a little bit more.
It's got a pretty easy draw. It's got the dark brown wrapper going for it. Not a lot of veins in the wrapper. It's a good looking wrapper.
Not quite a Maduro.
Not quite a Maduro. Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
like that's a Habano. It's a darker Habano. It's not really light. Yeah. Very nice.
We'll see where it goes.
Alrighty, we got some special segments coming up next. We're going to talk about our some of our favorite, really, what we say in Rhode Island, the wicked strong cigars coming up on this next segment.
Let's
And
go with an H.
after that, although Stogie Santa's not here, Stogie Santa and I put together a list of the best 5 production versatile cigars, and we're going to have a contest surrounding those as well. So with that, we will take a short break here, and we'll come back with the best wicked strong cigars according to Stogie Geeks.
I tried to introduce myself on the podcast. It didn't work out, did it?
Welcome.
You guys need something to drink?